Peter Parker is now a man entirely forgotten by his world. Without friends, mentors, or family, he lives in total social and psychological isolation. This isolation creates a state of host vulnerability. Host vulnerability is a biological concept where an organism lacking defensive structures or a supportive environment becomes the ideal breeding ground for an invading parasite. In his last cinematic appearance, a fragment of an alien symbiote remained behind in Peter's universe. That organism had already recognized Peter's identity through a multiversal hive mind connection triggered by a television broadcast. Peter Parker is an unguarded biological host, awaiting an inevitable infection. On the surface, the brand new Day trailer presents itself as standard superhero marketing, filled with the typical rhythms of an action blockbuster. A frame-by-frame inspection of the footage suggests a different narrative. Digital forensics, the practice of analyzing media files at the frame level to identify hidden patterns, reveals data that contradicts the trailer's upbeat title. This timeline follows a clinical progression: exposure, cellular bonding, and finally, neural override. The trailer functions as a secret document of an active parasitic takeover. Categorizing these specific visual markers as clinical symptoms reveals a psychological horror story beneath the superhero action. The first stage is physical symbiosis. Physical symbiosis is the process where a parasite begins to integrate its own cellular structure with the host's external tissues. Every frame of the trailer featuring Spider-Man shows him wearing the black suit. Typical superhero marketing highlights multiple suit variations to drive merchandise sales and show character growth. The absolute uniformity of the black suit in this footage breaks that established commercial pattern. The reason for this uniformity becomes clear when we zoom into a frame of Peter's hand. Notice the textures here. No evidence of fabric or stitching. Instead, we see an inky blackness where human skin is merging with alien matter. The black suit represents an irreversible physical mutation happening in real time. The infection then advances to stage 2, neurological hijacking. This occurs when the parasite moves past the skin to target the host's central nervous system. Throughout the trailer, Peter exhibits signs of agonizing discomfort, frequently clutching his head in pain. This schematic shows how the symbiote interacts with the auditory cortex. Cinematic history establishes the symbiote's biological sensitivity to high-frequency sound waves. The parasite amplifies environmental noise into paralyzing neurological pain for the host. These specific physical reactions are distinct from the emotional distress of heartbreak or grief. Peter's tremors and contortions reflect the violent struggle of a host fighting off a neural override. The symptoms are consistent: the permanent black suit, the mutating hand, the headaches, and the extreme sound sensitivity. This clinical timeline connects directly to the fragment of the symbiote left behind after the events of the multiverse. This evidence redefines the core conflict of the story, shifting the focus away from the villains shown in the action sequences. The primary antagonist is a biological parasite attached directly to Peter's nervous system, a threat he cannot escape or fight with physical force. The title, Brand New Day, represents the moment the symbiote achieves total biological control over Peter Parker.